Welcome to the Local Agent Podcast, episode 8.
Solid foundation inspection services and reliable inspection services. Michael Vagan.
Man, it could be a movie. We could do a reality show, man, for sure.
Because it's not about really recommendations if you're not going to advertise for yourself.
Referrals only work for so much, man. I've knocked off more than a handful of $1 million clients because I actually opened my mouth.
And majority of people are afraid to just pick up the camera.
The referrals only going to be so much because the people that's referring, the conversation's going to be limited.
It didn't have anything to do with inspections, but it was informational piece about wholesaling. It's $500 an hour. I don't know if that's the type of money that people are trying to make.
Welcome to the Local Agent Podcast, episode 8. Now, guys, today is somewhat special. Actually, it's very special, right? We have our home inspector here. He's from. You could sort of introduce yourself for me.
From Solid Foundation Inspection Services and Reliable Inspection Services, Michael Vagan.
Awesome. Now, Michael, introduce yourself. Tell us more about where you're from and sort of what your job makes you do. What do you do as your job?
Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm a home inspector. I'm a property inspector. So what I do is prior to purchase, when the property comes to closing, the client is required to or recommended to get a home inspection, and they'll call my company. I'll decide what size property that they have and what are the needed services that they may need, and the ones that we can provide for them. We provide all types of home inspection services. And basically, we go inside of the property. Well, we start on the outside. We perform an exterior property inspection first, from the top of the roof, the chimney, the spark arrestor, that's the main cap on the top of the roof, all the way down to the waistline. That's the first thing that was ever installed into the house, was the waistline. So we make sure that we check that waistline out and everything in between. Just go over, do a assessment of the defects around the property, safety issues, and just highlight those for the customer so that the client could use our findings as a negotiating tool, prior to close, so that they could, have all the information that's possible or necessary for them to make an informed decision.
Awesome. And what do you consider? You talked about how you help your clients out. What are the key aspects that home buyers should consider when hiring a home inspector?
The key aspects when hiring is going to be the knowledge about performing a home inspection, and also someone that's familiar with the buying process, someone that's actually been through the buying process and understands how important the home inspection could be. You just want to make sure that you have someone that's knowledgeable about the inspection process and knowledgeable about how the home operates as a system, as opposed to a specialist, that knows specifically about individual component in the property. You want to know how every component in the property operates together, and that's the way that you're going to find a great inspector and someone that can give you invaluable information.
Awesome. And out of curiosity, how do you approach the inspection process, and what specific areas do you focus on?
How do I approach it specifically? Well, I approach it like a superhero. I'm coming to provide unmatched amount of information in the real estate transaction. I believe myself, as an inspector in our community, we're providing or restoring equity into the community, because we allow the partners that we work with, whether they be investors or clients that's first-time home buyers, we actually allow them to gain not along with information, but value back into the property. Because, if we find a safety issue that, was looked past by the seller and it wasn't disclosed, then we're able to bring that to the seller's responsible attention, and they're going to take care of the client, accordingly, like they should, which is going to, in return, give you a credit on your property, or is going to get work, performed on your property in the form of rehab work, and that's just invaluable, because you could put a price tag on it, but you can't put a price tag on the amount that you're paying for the inspection to get that information. It's a real gem to use a home inspection company when you purchasing a property.
Awesome. And are there any unique challenges or considerations when inspecting a home? This could be in Cleveland or in general.
Well, I do inspect in Ohio, not just in Cleveland, in all different cities in Ohio, and also in DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Mm,
So one of the challenges that I would say would be just an indecisive client. You know what I mean? It's not
definitely.
necessarily about our information if the client, is looking for a reason to not buy. You know what I mean? So it's just about committing and understanding that you're looking for this property. You actually decided to sign and close for this property. So you like it. So now we need to work together as partners because I don't work for a realtor company. I work for myself. So that's why I say partner or client. You're gonna hear that a lot. Um, it's our time to actually work together and actually go to bat so we could get the necessary negotiating tools that we need. You know what I mean? Which would be the information that we get out the property. So it's not about being indecisive. It's about committing to the decision, coming to the inspection with your notepad, and finding out all the information that you can, and let's get the deal done.
Mm. And what do you say are some
And
common?
that's an approach that I
Yeah,
believe all the
my bad.
realtors could appreciate.
Well, what are some common issues or red flags that you often come across during a home inspection?
In Ohio, one of the common issues, well, in Northeast Ohio, particularly, we come in the issue because we're by that lake. We got a real moist ground, grading around all of the properties, generally wash away from the houses. So we have low grading around a lot of the properties. Typically, all the properties around Ohio, unless they've been remediated or they've been remodeled, we definitely have low grading issues to where all of the grading needs to be pitched away from the house. This is like a home jewel, you know what I mean? All the
Mhm.
grading needs to be pitched away from the house. This for all sellers. All grading need to be pitched away from the house, and all of the downspouts should be routed, 6 to 10 feet away from the house, so we can. Water is the culprit, so we can remove water from the house. That's the main culprit of destroying any form of the house, and we got to make sure we get water away from the house. And I would say that that's one of the main red flags is you see low grading, you automatically gonna assume that you have some sort of moisture intrusion, and we're gonna eliminate that not by waterproofing or any type of dry locking in the inside. We're gonna just route the water away. We stop the water, change the direction, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. We're not gonna prevent the water from coming in. We're gonna route it away.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Now, in these types of podcasts, in these types of interviews, right, I like to include some game shows. And what, yeah, in kind of our first game show, which, I kind of suck at, but let's see how it goes. So I call it the two truths and a lie. It's basically where you tell me two truths about yourself and a lie, and then I have to guess which one is the lie. So I'm currently on a 6 loss streak and one. I just got one win recently. And yeah, I was just hoping to double my winning score. Yeah, just hopefully get
You
another
looking to
win.
beat me?
Looking to get another win, man. Yeah, I lost 6 times. I guessing people's lies. And yeah, maybe I'll guess yours. Who knows?
Okay,
Awesome.
okay.
So tell me two truths and a lie about yourself, and I have to guess which one is a lie. This could be personal or
My
related to
wife is
like.
also a home inspector. That's my first one. I'm originally from Ohio,
Mhm.
and Solid Foundation Inspection Services is the number one home inspection company in Ohio.
Okay, okay. So one is definitely true, based on my knowledge, right? Um,
You said one is true?
one is definitely no. So the no. Hold on. Okay, so number three has to be true, right? Who won it? Who won it? Who would want to
Okay.
know, right?
Okay.
Three is definitely true.
Okay.
Okay, now living in Cleveland. I mean, originating like born in Cleveland, or I mean, the first one has to be true, right? Because if you're a home inspector, that means your wife has to be a home inspector as well. Okay, I'll see that smile that now puts me off. That puts me out. Okay. Just because I give the benefit of the doubt, right? I think one is a lie. So going one is the lie. One that's my answer. One is a lie.
One is the lie.
One is a lie.
You got it. My wife is a chef.
Let's go. Let's go.
There
Let's
you go. You
go.
got you a victory. You got
I
you a
got
victory.
myself finally from a 6 loss streak. I finally got a win. No, there's
But
mhm.
but
Oh, okay.
but my wife's dad is the home inspector. He's CJ from CJ Solid Foundation. So she actually knows more about
Ah,
houses than me. He's been an inspector for 25 years.
wow. That's a long
Right.
time. Well, well, thankfully I got to know a little bit more about yourself, right? Thankfully. Um but just out of curiosity, what are some like memorable experiences you had as a home inspector? Well, is there any time you can
Man, I
recall?
just had one last week, man. I went to go see a property. And from the outside of the property, it was screaming, "Don't go in."
Oh
And when
my.
I seen the seller, he got out of the car. I was like, he was screaming, "Don't go in" too, from his visual, looking at his appearance. And when I came and went inside of the property, man, it was I had a head. My head started hurting immediately, man. It was like it was so disgusting. It was people living inside our property still, and it was mold in there. It was you open floor joists, open ceiling joists, black mold in the bathroom. The floor was peeled up. Active living situation. I'm talking about terrible, man. It was bed bugs all around. I actually walked outside. I didn't perform the entire inspection. I canceled the inspection after I got through to the kitchen. I was about 3 rooms in, and I canceled the inspection because of how bad it was. It was active mice and rodents running through the property. It was terrible, bro.
My.
And I went outside, called my wife, and FaceTimed her and stripped, man, before I got back into my car. And I just took off everything that I had right there on West 25th. And I just changed my clothes, man. That's exactly what happened, man. I changed all my clothes, left the clothes there, and I called the health department.
My gosh.
There you go. There go the
That
most
sound
memorable moment. Just happened.
that sounded like a living nightmare.
Yep.
How? And was this just like is this one of the occasions or you had similar experiences something like this?
No, I may be running across these type of properties maybe twice, 2, 3 times a year.
My run
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And uh, oh God, I have no words for that. I just lost my train of thought there.
Yeah.
Just trying to picture the whole scenario in my head. Like, how do you, I don't know. I just want to touch base into that, but
Man, it could be a movie. We could do a reality show, man, for
my
sure.
God. Yeah, so are there any specific regulations or codes that home buyers should be aware of? And this could be the Cleveland region or the Ohio region, but is there any specific regulations or codes that home buyers should be aware of?
Yeah, I want to say the probably the lead clearance, the lead code, the fact that lead paint is a major issue in Ohio, and that most of the properties before 1970 were, painted with lead paint. We want to make sure that we get a lead assessment on all of the properties. Ohio has a thing called encapsulation, which is painting over lead paint
Ooh.
to get rid of the paint, which is not a real good remedy for me as an inspector, because you're not getting rid of the poison, you're just covering it up. So that's something that, I would urge anyone in Ohio to be aware of as a new home buyer or a new investor.
Hmm. Now, other than not having mice in your kitchen and finding molds all over the walls, um, what advice do you have for first-time home buyers regarding home inspections and the overall buying process?
Choose your inspector wisely. I would say, look up multiple inspection companies. Social media is everything. Check out their social media. That's how we get to the nitty gritty of who somebody is. You know, you can get on that social media, you know, and see if they actually care to
Yeah.
put themselves out there, you know, because it's not about really recommendations if you're not gonna advertise for yourself.
Golden nugget right there, right? Golden nugget.
Bingo. You got to put
Bingo.
yourself on, man. That's
Put
the only
yourself
way it's
on.
gonna work. Referrals only work for so much, man. I've knocked
Yeah.
off more than a handful of $1 million clients because I actually opened my mouth, man. Period.
Yeah, it's like, and people will never know who you are unless you put yourself out there. And majority of people are afraid to just
Right.
pick up the camera and just let the people know a bit more about themselves. Many people are scared to do
Yeah.
that, and that's what really
And
causes
expect the
success.
referral. The referral is only gonna be so much because the people that's referring, the conversation is gonna be limited. You know what I mean? Because they gotta promote themselves. So it's nobody gonna be out here putting 100% towards letting people know that you're out here. You have to do that yourself every single day.
Yeah. Are there any recent trends or advances in home inspection industry that you find noteworthy?
People that's becoming home inspectors. It's only less 7% African Americans that's home inspectors in the whole United States. So by it, you know, in the past year, we've seen it's a lady out of Cleveland. She has an inspector flow. I believe she's out of Akron and Cleveland, but she has inspector flow, and it's a actual training facility or a training platform for home inspectors. And she's graduated like maybe 60, 70 different students out of home inspection. I mean, into the home inspection field.
Mm.
And I would say that that's something that's noteworthy about the industry that's been going on. You know what I mean? I've taken one of her classes as well. It didn't have anything to do with inspections, but it was just an informational piece about wholesaling I had took for her. So it's definitely space and room in the industry to grow for minorities. And I've definitely, I would encourage anyone that's looking for a career choice or career field that's not requiring a 4-year college degree, man, to, you know, take some interest in it, man. You know, it's $500 an hour. I don't know if that's the type of money that people are trying to make, but it still look like a start. You know, it's definitely
Like
a
a
good start
start.
for me.
Oh, well, awesome. Well, lastly, I was asked to just to get to like just know a bit more about yourself. But if you were able to go back in time and would have told, what would you have told yourself when you just started out as a home inspector?
Go harder. Period. Advertise. There's nothing else. It's advertise. It's advertise. You gotta put yourself out there. Nobody will know you if you don't advertise. All the people, every millionaire that I have as a client, every commercial real estate investor that I have, multi-unit property, is because I talk to them personally, not because someone referred me. A referral only goes so far, so you cannot expect for a business card to take you into any door. I don't even give out business cards anymore. I give out handshakes, smiles, and my phone number into your phone. There's no way you're gonna forget about me.
Awesome. Well, where can people find you and on what social platforms?
Social media platforms, LinkedIn. You can get on Facebook, Mikey Vaden, Cleveland Home Inspector, Ohio Home Inspector on Instagram, Cleveland Home Inspector on Instagram as well. I think that's about it as far as the social media platforms. I got a Snapchat as well, Inspect Cleveland.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you for checking out this video. And Michael, it's been a pleasure. And yeah, have a good